Mel Robbins and I hate each other. Okay. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration, as she probably doesn't remember me, but I really do not like her. Why? Because she's a guru out here teaching how to improve your mental health, how to heal your depression, how to heal your anxiety, and feel great about your life. But she is full of anxieties and depression and overwhelmment, constantly crying on her page. So it annoyed me so much that I decided to talk to Jay about gurus, especially Mel Robbins, who are not walking the walk. They're just talking a lot of crap. So Jay, let's talk about Mel Robbins. So one of the reasons I dislike Mel so much is because I commented on a post of hers once about taking personal responsibility for our actions, our traumas, and everything that's happened to us in our lifetime. And I know that this is a very sensitive thing for a lot of people, and they get triggered when I say this. But I really genuinely believe that we should all take personal responsibility for everything. I am an abuse survivor as well, and I could have spoken up and said something. So I did have a voice, and I chose not to use it. And that's okay. There's no judgment or anything. So I said this in a very nice and loving way, that we should all take personal responsibility. And she got really mad at me and yelled at me in the comments. So Jay, how can I take a life coach seriously when that coach picks and chooses the things that they want to take personal responsibility for?
Yikes.
And before you answer, I have to admit, I am a little worked up and passionate about this topic. So I will do my best to keep my voice normal and not yell. So yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, let me just say I am not a big fan of hypocrites and people who don't walk what they talk.
Right.
People who don't practice what they preach.
Right.
That said, haven't we all been a hypocrite at least once in our lives? Probably many times, and probably still are in some area right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
If so, then how can any of us follow advice or role model anybody else if we're all technically current day hypocrites and past day hypocrites to some degree?
I mean, I don't know.
So it more comes down to a degree of hypocrisy. So
that makes sense. Yes.
You might prefer to follow someone with much less hypocrisy or much less obvious hypocrisy or something.
Right.
But even if you follow your mom or dad or grandparents or childhood teacher or guidance counselor or therapist or whoever, if I go prowl around their lives and like observe them on camera for a little while or something, document them for a year, I'm not going to find hypocrisy in all of them.
I'm sure you will. But I guess for me, the thing is that she's teaching people how to cure anxiety and other mental health stuff, but hasn't cured her own. So how can you teach somebody this? Like,
yeah, I totally get it. And I'm not lining up to learn from someone like that.
Right.
I just want to be the devil's advocate or show an alternative view, because trying to find the hypocrisy-free human is kind of insane. Like,
okay, I admit you're right. And to find somebody who's never been a hypocrite 100% in their life, I probably would die trying to find that person. I myself have said to you, there's things that I will be a hypocrite about in the future because of whatever reasons. But I guess because I'm open about that, it's different.
But some you're not open about. Like, didn't you help someone with business the other day?
Yes.
Have you always been practicing all of those business principles that you preach?
No, not
Were you
always.
upfront about that at the time?
No.
Or did you just talk like an expert who knows shit?
I believe I said that I've had 13 failed businesses, so that kind of states that, I haven't been great at this always.
Sure, but isn't that the same as Mel saying, I have had 13 years of anxiety?
Yeah, okay. Fair play.
So, all good. I'm just saying, it's a bit more nuanced than we think at first glance. The only thing is, with some experts or gurus or life coaches or whatever, the hypocrisy can get very obvious and very on target and very on the nose and very like industry related.
It's just, all these people follow her for life advice and she can't get her life together.
Is that true though? Like,
no. Okay.
How well is she doing? What's in her bank account?
Well, I don't mean like
how much
that.
impact has she had? Is she divorced? Like,
no.
So, she has it more together than a lot of the people who are following her.
Yes.
They're poor. They're divorced.
Enough. All right. Fair enough.
So one principle I have is that you can always help someone on a step behind you. So
yes.
So you only ever need to be one step ahead of the people you're serving.
Yes.
Which means, like, even some terrible monster or something could still help someone who was a worse terrible monster.
Yes.
So in this way, everyone can provide value, even if they're not quite there yet. A lot of people, when they're getting started in life and business and their career and their purpose, think, oh, I have nothing to offer anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a horrible, terrible feeling. We feel worthless.
Yes.
And it's never true because there's always someone worse than you. And you can literally offer them a hand up, a leg up. So as long as you're one step ahead of your worst target to help, to serve your target market or your audience or whatever, you're going to be of value to them. Even though you look like a total disaster to a bunch of other people.
Fair enough. Then why doesn't she just teach the things that she's doing well in, like business or running her social media or writing a book or speaking, instead of talking about improving her anxiety and has a friggin' anxiety attack every 2 seconds all over her social media?
All good. Like, if a monster wants to help a worse monster, should they put that all aside and go start talking about lawn care?
If they're great at lawn care.
But why? Like, they want to help someone who, like, they were in a worse place and they've gotten to a slightly less worse place. And even though all of us audience onlookers are like, yo, you're still terrible.
Yeah.
You're a giant hypocrite.
Yes.
They're like, but I'm helping the people who were worse.
I guess.
Who are where I was. So now it's much harder to hate Mel Robbins.
Well, maybe for other people, but to me, if I'm looking to heal my anxiety, I'm going to find someone like me who has healed my anxiety and no longer has panic attacks versus someone who's still having them.
No, and that's smart. Like, I'm not trying to convince you to go learn from Mel. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to say she's the best choice out there.
Oh, I know.
I'm just playing devil's advocate and showing the other side. And, like, yeah, this is why some train wreck of anxiety can still go out and build a giant audience and help a ton of people, helping worse train wrecks than her. No offense. I'm just trying to make the point.
No, your point is taken. I understand what you're saying, even if it's annoying.
Yeah, and we get a lot of judgy people out there who want to point fingers at the hypocrites, but is it always true? Is it always necessary? Do they have a place? Haven't we all been a hypocrite? Can we still provide value? Like,
yeah,
these
but
questions.
If you are teaching life coaching, one of the first things you should be teaching your clients is taking personal responsibility for your life.
I agree. Look, if Mel was in this chair trying to convince me that she doesn't need to get better or screw anxiety or whatever, I'd be, tearing her apart too. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you on Earth? You didn't come here to get stuck on anxiety for 12 decades or something. Like, you got to beat this sometime, honey. It would be a different conversation. But she'd end up feeling like, oh yeah, I guess maybe I should change.
You can most definitely help that woman. If you help me go from 6 panic attacks a day, you can help her go from however many she's having to none.
Yeah, and well, right now I'm trying to help you go from I hate Mel Robbins to like, well, maybe she's not that bad and everything's cool. And
so I just want to say something for that to the I hate her. Okay, so she annoys the shit out of me.
I know you don't
on
really
a regular
hate her,
basis.
Obviously, it's just slang drama.
Well, yeah, but okay, so and I have actually a special place in my heart for her, to be honest, because when I typed in the first time into YouTube, how to be happy, her TED Talk was the first video that came up.
There you go.
And I watched it and I really liked it.
She was a doorway to happiness for you.
She was. And 6 degrees of separation. I found Mel, then Tom Bilyeu, then Evan, then you.
Yeah, so we wouldn't even be teamed up without Mel.
Yeah. So as much as she annoys the crap out of me, one of the reasons I wanted to do this video was also there's a secret part of me that I hope she'll see it and actually ask, hey, how did you cure your anxiety? Because I have. So I would love to help her, even if she probably thinks I really do hate her, but it's okay. I am going to yell at her today in this video, but it is with love. Everything we do here is with love. If I wanted to drag her for real, there's a lot of different kinds of stuff I could say.
So isn't this kind of hypocritical to your intro?
Yeah. So
it's all good. Anyway, you asked how she can do that, teach that, when she doesn't seem to be taking personal responsibility for the anxiety issues. And even when you call her out on it and say that you take personal responsibility for your anxiety issues and your trauma, she still gets defensive and offers backlash and, hates on you for paragraphs in the comments. And I hope that my answer was helpful.
Yeah, it was helpful, but still, I guess I can't really get a solid answer until I ask her directly, hey, you don't take personal responsibility for your stuff. Why aren't you teaching that to other people? How can you be teaching people to do the same thing if you don't do it? But
does Mel teach people to have personal responsibility? Is that a big theme of hers?
Well, no.
I mean, maybe she teaches victimhood.
Yes, she does.
Well, so
she encourages it, recommends it.
But if that's the lesson, if that's her theme, if that's the thing.
But that's my point.
Then why would she ever be
coach?
But why would she ever be teaching personal responsibility?
I guess if she doesn't know it or have it, she can't teach it. But then you shouldn't be teaching people how to change their life.
But they're different things. Life is a big topic. No one's good at every single aspect of it. Some people are going to be teaching personal responsibility, and that's who you go to. You go for David Goggins for personal responsibility. If you want to learn victimhood, you go to Mel Robbins. Or you want to learn self-love, you go to Mel Robbins. Maybe she teaches whatever, her own thing. But I don't think personal responsibility is a core tenet.
It's not. And that's one of my problems is that if people want to improve their mental health and people want to cure their anxiety, that's why they go to our 51 plus videos about anxiety to heal it. And then you need to talk about personal responsibility because you cannot improve your anxiety without it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it's really important, but doesn't that just give you a space, a niche? You can be the personal responsibility person.
True.
And so they can learn some stuff about anxiety from Mel, and then they can surf over to you. And then you and Mel would be great collaborators because you would handle the personal responsibility side and she would handle the connect with the anxious people side.
Fair enough, I guess. But she seriously needs to learn that. So anyway, yes, you did answer my question. Thank you so much. So speaking of anxiety, I went to Mel's YouTube and she has 50 plus videos on how to heal or cure your anxiety.
I think you mentioned that.
Yeah. And there was more because I got tired of counting at 50. There was a whole bunch more, right? So what the hell? You're having panic attacks all over your social media all the time. Why and how are you teaching people how to cure or help or deal with your anxiety if you can't do it?
It's a good question. You're going to hate me again because I'm going to take Mel's side or whatever it is and defend her stuff. Mm-hmm. But one possibility could be that it's just her favorite topic or the thing she's focused on lately. Do you remember writing a skincare article when you had particularly rough skin conditions?
I do, yes.
So it was very relevant to you at the time, and it became probably one of your longest pieces and most written thing. It was a 3-parter.
It was. It was really long, yes.
Right. So then I could ask, why are you writing so much about skin, good skin and healthy skin and whatever, when your skin, especially right now, is terrible bad?
Well, that's fair play. And I would say that's because I had been on a healing journey for a while with it. And even though my skin was not 100% healed, I was clear about that in my article. I'm writing this after months of...
Oh, I think Mel's clear about this too.
Oh, yeah. You can't get much clearer than actually having a panic attack on camera. So I get it. And I'm sure that if as most people with anxiety are always on a journey to improve this and feel better because it is the worst. I don't wish a panic attack on anyone. It feels awful, like you're dying, and it's terrifying. That said, I guess if she's on her journey to heal hers, then maybe don't put in the title of your videos how to heal your anxiety. Be honest.
Sure. I mean, we can discuss the ethics of clickbait whenever, but my point still stands, right? You get the question, you get the answer to the question, right? Maybe she's doing this because it's her topic of now.
Right. And it's her journey. But again, be honest. This is my problem.
Okay, but your question wasn't about the honesty. We can go on that as a side question. I'm happy to address it.
Okay, so...
But I just want to make sure we took care of the initial question.
Yeah, the initial question you have answered. It's her journey, and she's learning to heal it, and she's talking about it often, which is one of the reasons we do the podcast.
And the second possibility is that she knows her audience. Like, maybe it's all fake. A lot of people just say what people want to hear. A lot of entertainers don't care about issue X or Y, but they come out and talk about issue X or Y.
Yeah, because it appeases other people, their audience.
And that's who they're trying to serve.
Sure.
I want to give my audience what makes them happy.
Sure.
And so they'll over-dramatize things, they'll clickbait things, they'll use fake things, they'll...
Fair play. I don't know the real reasoning behind any of it. And I think if more people call people like that out, then it'll not be as prevalent as people trying to use lies in their...
But even you might do it. You might write a headline or craft a sentence or something somewhere that uses language that you wouldn't normally use, or just switches a word to resonate with somebody. And it's like, now we get the argument. Is that authentically you, or are you just trying to serve people and it's totally fine? Or like, is it ethically okay? Like, where's the line? And is she doing it? Are you doing it? Who's doing it more? Who's doing it worse? Who do we call out? Like, it gets muddy, right?
I guess.
I mean, I'm with you. I can still feel the energy when some hollow, empty personality is shilling something they don't believe in. But just because I can sense the energy doesn't mean we can all put a line and say who's doing what. And like, what if someone's close to the line? Like, it becomes an intuition call.
I don't know. I just don't understand why so many people lick her ass so hard and like everything she has to say. Because, again, I want to heal my anxiety. I'm going to someone who's never had it, or someone who's healed it. I'm not going to go to someone who, I'm overwhelmed because my business is making me millions of dollars. Like, what?
I get it. And again, I am not trying to steer anybody towards Mel in particular. And I understand why you would want to get someone like me who is seemingly immune to anxiety, or seeking out someone who's already long overcome their anxiety. But like I said in the first question, one monster helping an even worse monster is still a fine thing.
Yeah.
So if they want to go that route.
I mean, she has stuff on her channel that's good. It's really good. The 5-second rule, I've used it before to help me when I first started my journey of personal development and self-help and mental health. I use that a lot. Okay. Her 5 habits things, I've read some of it. It's decent. It's pretty good. It's nothing really original, but I liked it. It's just, I feel like there's some in the arena of whatever she's doing. There are some things that she's really, really good at. Like, like I just said, the 2 books that she wrote, and she has some really great quotes. And I've heard her on podcasts talking about manifestation and how she's manifested some really cool stuff. But it's like the stuff that you haven't healed in yourself. I know you said we can heal the step behind us, but to put yourself out there with 51 plus videos and put yourself out there like the expert of mental health and self-help, it just sits so bad in my stomach. Because it's not even really for me. It's because I've already healed these things. But for the people who are looking to really heal themselves and they go to her, to me, it's just, it's annoying.
No, I totally get it. If you know product A is better than product B, but everyone around you keeps buying product B, you're going to get more and more annoyed and upset and angry with either the people buying product B or product B itself for tricking people into buying product B or whatever. You'll just be annoyed that people aren't buying product A.
Right. All right.
And I get that. It makes sense. And it's fine to be passionate about that. I would want people to buy product A too. And I'd want them to stop getting scammed or swindled by product B. I want them to improve their lives. That said, it doesn't mean product B shouldn't or couldn't exist. And it doesn't mean it's product B's fault that they're like this. Maybe at home, product B secretly likes product A too.
It's possible. Okay. Well,
or maybe they don't know about product A. So for example, the reason you're so passionate about this might be because you feel we can do a better job educating these people and soothing them and healing them and elevating their mental health.
Yes.
But we're not reaching as many people as Mel, and all of Mel's audience goes to Mel, and they don't come and try and experiment with our stuff.
Fair enough. Yes.
And so that's a very personal thing. Like, why are you so mad about this? I'm mad because I'm not doing what Mel did. I'm not as famous as Mel. I haven't reached as many people as Mel. I haven't marketed as well as Mel. Maybe we're just angry at ourselves for doing such a poor job of reaching the people.
I definitely am. I could definitely improve how we reach more people if I had a giant team like her. But she's also been doing this a really long time too.
And she also started without a giant team. So somehow she got big enough to get a giant team.
Yes.
So if she started without a giant team and eventually got big enough to get a giant team.
But I do want to add
what happened in there.
One thing of difference between her and I too. She comes from a rich white family with lots of lawyers and people in the entertainment industry. She knows people who knows people and use her network to get on the radar of Oprah and other people.
I get it.
Okay. And I don't have any of that.
No, I get that.
I don't have these things, but I know how to get them, and it takes longer for me to do it than it did for someone who can just make a phone call.
But why not do it faster?
I could, yeah.
Why not do it faster?
I could.
I'm going to do it faster than anyone's ever done it. And it makes sense that oftentimes we would be disappointed or upset or irritated by some other product in the market outperforming.
Mm-hmm. The good one.
Yeah.
And I've seen it with actual products in the past on the like in the supermarkets and stuff, where I'm like, I do not understand why product A or B is doing better than product A because it's shit.
Yeah, the same thing happens with celebrity brands and stuff.
Yes.
Why is this actor better than that one? And she's so much better and he's so much better. And
no.
I wish the world was paying more attention to so-and-so.
No.
What happens a lot of the time is substandard offerings get the lion's share of attention, whereas the top tier offerings that deserve the lion's share of attention get very little or much less.
Right.
And this injustice infuriates people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not an injustice. It's one has spent their time developing a top tier product or offering, and the other has spent their time mastering attention, like dominating the attention economy, understanding attention algorithms. They've majored in two different areas. They've specialized in two different things.
Sure.
Why would the one that focused on making a top tier product get tons of attention? Why would they deserve tons of attention? They put no time or energy into the skill of attention mongering.
Right.
Whereas the one that did put all the time and energy into what pleases people and how do I resonate and what do they like to watch or click or whatever.
How to sell, yeah.
Yeah, how to sell. Of course they get all the attention and they deserve it. They've mastered that skill. So people get upset at this injustice, but I just see two different offerings or brands or products or people who've totally mastered different skills, and one's jealous of the other one's skill.
I'm not jealous of what she's doing.
Of her growth.
No, I'm angry that people are giving her attention for something that she hasn't done. While she was mastering attention, I was curing my anxiety. I was curing my depression. I was getting rid of my bipolar disease diagnosis.
Yes, and we're all proud of you.
But that's not the point. Like, I was making the superior product and I'm getting mad.
Anyway, my overall point is that very little of what Mel puts out there looks good as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't scream awesome coach to me. It doesn't say great guru. It doesn't say awesome role model. It doesn't say great friend I'd like to chat over lunch with, because it's just going to turn into drama and anxiety and panic or overwhelm or whatever. Like, everyone has their own crafted facade on social, so I don't know how much of it is true. But from what I see, not that inviting. But is it really worth being so harsh on this woman if we've all done similar things, where we might have our own little quirks and flaws and peccadillos fueling it? If it's more personal for us, or if we're mad at the audience, or we're mad at the market, or we're like, are we really mad at Mel? And it's like, there's more to look at, right? And anytime any of us are triggered by someone else, any guru, celebrity, scammer, thief, whatever, isn't it time or a chance to like reflect and look at ourselves and why this is triggering us?
Yes.
And so we can do that here now in front of people. We can show what it's like to be triggered by somebody and you know, what they do or what they stand for or what they're about or whatever. And then we can walk it back and we can see the other side or look deeper or see inside ourselves, right?
Yes. Well, so I want to just be clear that it's not only Mel Robbins who I have issues with. Like, I have a list, a full list. I can name them all. The only reason I chose to talk about her today was because it's been years. It's been years, and she's been annoying the crap out of me for years. And like I said before, I see some of the good she's done, and she knows more stuff than me, and she's smarter than me in some areas, and she knows how to build an audience, and I'm working on that too. You know, if I had as many years as she has doing this, and I still was where I'm at now, I'd like be really super pissed and jealous, but I'm not. I'm like a baby in comparison to where she's at, audience wise, and even in the arena. So it's just, she definitely triggers me. And I followed and unfollowed a million times to try to like practice being around or having someone in my feed who triggers me.
Smart. Good practice.
Thank you. And I think the reason that she triggers me is because I know that what you teach and how you teach has worked, not just for me. We have hundreds of testimonials on our website of people who say, you've changed your life. You've helped people go from suicidal to loving themselves. Like, the testimonials speak for themselves. So to know that it's only 100, it sounds like a lot to a small entrepreneur who would kill for 100 testimonials. But to me, this is nowhere near enough. I want millions of testimonials. But I know it's a journey and I'll get there. And so I know this is my main trigger as far as she's concerned. That and the fact that anytime a rich person is boo-hoo crying about their horrible life, it triggers me and annoys me because lady has never had to eat ramen or rice and tuna for days on end because her mother was super poor and worked 3 jobs, you know? So that's another reason, but that's a separate podcast episode.
Yeah, and I'd probably talk you off that ledge too.
Yeah, well, but, hey, I'm still a work in progress.
It's all good. We all are.
I'm level 20, not 200.
We're all working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
All good. I like the honesty.
Thanks.
It's really helpful.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate you talking me down from the ledge, and I apologize to the audience for getting a little emotional and yelling a little, but I warned you all in the beginning this may happen. So I want to move on. So one of the things that I've seen some people in the life coaching area or arena do is say, I can help you heal your thing. And so I feel like if you can't heal yourself of something, then the next thing to do is to prove you can heal like the people closest to you, right? Yeah. And so she has a post on Instagram talking about her husband has depression, right? Her husband has depression, and I believe all her kids do too. She has 13 videos on her YouTube channel teaching people how to cure, how to treat, how to handle, how to deal with their depression. The person closest to you, or Mel, is her husband, Chris, but she hasn't healed him either. And this is a recent post. You can go and see it on her Instagram and her YouTube, how she talks about it. So if you can't heal yourself, okay, fine, but you can't heal the person closest to you either. What the F?
Yeah, that does not look good.
I mean, you didn't even have her have depression, but you know how to heal it, and you helped me heal my own depression.
It's a great point. But did I heal my mom's depression?
No, but that's because she's not open to it.
But isn't it possible Mel's people are not open to it either?
Yes, it's possible.
So I get it. Again, it's irritating and it does not look good. It is not a good look for someone who's selling something, selling cures if they can't cure the people around them.
Right.
But at the same time, you can't force cures down people's throats. And if they're not ready, they're not receptive, if they're not open, you kind of just got to go forward and help whoever you can help, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's not a good look.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if she has. I should have researched in my research. I should have found her testimonials to see if anybody's saying what they've said about you and she's helped cure something. Because to me, if you haven't cured yourself, you haven't cured your family, I highly doubt that there's any testimonials out there that she cured someone else. I mean, she might.
Yeah. I feel like anyone who gets to the audience size she has collected some testimonials along the way.
Yeah. But about her book or about like other topics, growing, making money, their habits, maybe some self-confidence, because she has to have self-confidence to do what she does. You know, she posts her fitness journey, her implant removal journey. So there could be testimonials about things around this core topic. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's a totally valid point. And another great question. All of your questions have been great.
Thanks.
They lead to very interesting revelations. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't say much with this one. All I could say was, probably she collected testimonials and maybe her fam are not receptive or open to her cures. Like, I got nothing. It's possible.
Got nothing.
Those are possible, right?
Yeah.
But
okay.
they're not strong.
Okay, so I'm going to play my own devil's advocate and say, I have tried to help my family.
More progress lately.
Oh, I love you guys. But yes, you're right. More progress lately, but
took years.
It took a long time, right? And you can't really help someone who's not open and receptive to helping themselves. If you're not willing to apply the things you learn and make the changes, no matter how difficult they are to you or they feel to you, then you can't change. So I've tried to help those people that I love so very much. And if I could wave a magic wand, they'd be the first people I help. But I've helped people, strangers, more because they were open to learning from us. They were open to applying the things we've taught and to make some money and to feel better and be more confident than my family have. So I get why she may not have been able to reach her family. And especially sometimes, like your mom, I love her so much. We've tried so many times to help her and understand, but she's completely closed off to receiving help. And also that weird thing about parents, like, I know everything because I'm the mom. My kid can't teach me anything. And sometimes maybe her husband feels the same way. My wife can't teach me anything. She teaches all those people, but not me. So I don't really know. But I wanted to mention that because I have firsthand experience with the other side too. So it's annoying as hell to me that she has 13 videos on healing depression, but has yet to heal it herself or anyone in her family that I know of. She might have, and I just don't know. And if she has, and please share in the comments and tell me, because if you know somebody who she's helped and helped them heal and they're a better person, or someone in her own family or whatever, tell me, because I really want to know. It's okay. Call me out. I'm happy to admit I'm wrong. It's cool.
Respect.
Thanks.
Yeah. Baller.
Thank you. So you may be asking yourself why you should listen to us. Well, all of the concepts that I have learned to heal my anxiety, my depression, my shitty beliefs, my bad beliefs, and all the crappy crap that I dealt with all my life are in this book.
Well, not all of them.
Okay, yeah, not all of them, my bad. A lot of them, because that's why it's volume 1. It's Eyes Wide Open, Volume 1. It's the world's first self-help coffee table book. It's full of beautiful art and amazing concepts that Jay taught me to heal myself, to heal my anxiety, and lots of other crappy crap things that I've had deep inside for years. And Jay put everything in this book for you, and we're giving it away so you don't have to depend on Mel Robbins' crappy teaching to heal yourself and feel better. You can go to eyeswideopenfree.com, or the link is in the description. So Mel Robbins has 21 videos on her YouTube channel about overwhelm and how to heal it and how to feel better and deal and handle blah, blah, blah. But on Thanksgiving Day, she posted a photo of herself in Florida, relaxing with her family and being super happy, yet crying about being overwhelmed because her business is making millions of dollars and she is super overwhelmed with it and full of anxiety. So I want you to ask yourself, would you learn how to drive from somebody who didn't have a learner's permit? Would you learn how to bake a cake from someone who's never even opened a box cake? No, I wouldn't. Would you?
Well, you're going to hate me, but would you learn how to recover from a car crash from someone who's never crashed? They've literally never crashed. So how are they going to recover from a car crash?
No. Wait. But I would learn from someone who has spent years helping people to recover from a car crash. So even though if they haven't physically been it themselves, they are around it all the time.
That's what I'm saying. So overwhelm is the car crash.
Okay.
So she's been in the car crash.
She has.
And she's taught others about the car crashes.
Sure.
So she's actually the perfect person.
Okay. But she is still overwhelmed.
So like she still gets in car crashes.
She's overwhelmed because she's making too much money.
But doesn't every driver still get in car crashes?
Why doesn't she just why doesn't she hire a bigger team so she's not overwhelmed?
Maybe part of the overwhelm is not being able to find the right people.
Fair play. Okay. So that's a good point. See, this is why I brought this topic to you. I don't want to be annoyed by her all the time. I want to be able to hear her name and be like, oh, she's helped me before.
Well,
instead of,
we're gonna get there.
She's an asshole.
Right.
Right.
I'm saying, so things like this, like, no, I don't really want to hire a cake teacher who's never baked a cake, but she's not a cake teacher. She's a car crash recovery teacher.
She is a car crash.
And she's very good at that. Yes. She's got a lot of experience.
Yeah. Fair play.
So,
fair play.
You know.
Same. I mean, girl, her and I are on the same team with that one.
You guys are more in common than you think.
All right. Fair enough.
And yeah, I mean, it still doesn't look good and it still doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. And it doesn't really make me want to go learn how to recover from overwhelm from Mel personally. But I get it. And I get how she might still have it and might crash again and might recover again. It's like, I might fail another business one day. Like, if I do, I'm good at recovery.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I've also gotten good at avoiding the car crashes, avoiding the failures, but I'm at peace with it. And if I do, I'll put it on social, I'll let people know, and I'll own it again. Like,
fair enough.
So, doesn't look good, but also kind of normal.
I think all the annoyance I have would go away if she just would start a video like with overwhelm, saying the stuff like I do, like, hey, I'm going to teach you how I've learned to get to this point, but I'm still working on it. It's okay to admit that.
Yeah, I think your biggest issue, what it all comes down to, is her heavy-handed narrative that she is an expert who cures people, instead of her leading with a softer, gentler narrative of being someone on a journey who may or may not help a few and is still working on things herself and is nowhere near an expert and wouldn't dream of calling herself one. This kind of humbleness and humility and gentle approach would likely resolve all of your issues with her. I don't think you would have a single thing to say about this woman
100%.
if she presented herself that way.
Yes. And this is why I'm very careful when I talk to people and I'm coaching them to let them know, like, I have failed. I'm still working on this. Like, these are things I'm super honest about, because I never, ever want anyone to think that I'm not 100% perfect at it either, but I don't want people to think that I'm like that, where I think that I'm the expert, but I don't know jack.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. And you're welcome to, feel how you feel about the way people package and present their offerings, right?
Right.
But do you agree that there's room in the world for confident experts and that some people need to learn from people like that?
Yes.
And if that person, that confident expert, suddenly started saying, oh, I'm on a journey like you guys, and I failed yesterday and the day before, and it would like ruin it for the people who are following them. They tune in for the confident expert. They don't want the gentle, humble journeyman vibe.
Right. Well,
like David Goggins can't present himself the humble way you just said. Right. And if he started doing that, he would lose all of his following.
Yeah. One of the things I love about him is that he walks the walk, talks the talk. He presents himself as a hard badass. And there are things about him I don't like either, but I see what you're saying. Like if he tried that route, it would be weird.
And there's room for both presentations in the world.
Yes.
So we do need some David Goggins styles or Mel Robbins styles who present themselves as confident gurus with minimal.
But you see the difference between the two of them?
I know, I'm getting there.
Okay. Go ahead.
There's room for both.
Right.
And so you may not like a certain one. You may also not like it if someone presents themselves one way and behaves another. If they send a mixed energy and like hypocritical energy, like probably that will bother you.
Yes.
But all your other questions like danced around the issue, you know, like I don't like that she does this and I don't like that she does that. And it's like, oh, but saying you do that too. It's like, okay, fine. But I'm still annoyed. And it's like, because we get to the heart of the issue, it was never any of those things.
Right.
It had nothing to do with whether her husband was depressed or not. Like, that's not what bothered you. Or that you couldn't see enough testimonials for depression. Like, what bothers you is that she presents herself more like a Goggins and less like a Sin.
Yes.
And you're like, what are you doing?
Yes.
And I get that.
No Goggins.
No, and I get that.
Yeah.
Like, we want everyone in the world to be authentic and present themselves authentically and to align their marketing and packaging and promotion with their true selves.
Yeah.
If they're a giant walking disaster, they should market themselves as a giant walking disaster so everybody knows.
Yes.
If they're a hardcore badass who walks the walk like Goggins or whatever, then we want him to market himself like a baller, hardcore badass who walks the walk.
Yes.
So you want everyone to present authentically.
Yes.
And it bothers you and ruffles your feathers and feels terrible when someone is presenting inauthentically.
Yes. Yes.
I get it. I understand. And we can help solve that by teaching more authenticity and personal responsibility and all the things that you like to teach.
I need to interrupt you. I'm sorry, because I want to point out, like, what you just said, I feel better, first of all, because we got to the core of what my problem was. And this whole time, I thought it was like more just she's annoying and like hypocrite and whatever. But you're right.
Well, you're still right. This is the ultimate hypocrisy.
Yes. But I didn't realize it was at that level, right? And so for me, this is very helpful. But I want the audience to see this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I am talking about. You are so good at this. I just can't, like, she is not going to sit down with somebody, have this conversation, and be able to find the thing in there. Oh, there it is, and pull it out. She can't. There's very few people. Tony Robbins is one who can do this. And I think, to me, you've always been on his level. The attention is not on his level, which is my fault, and that's cool. We're getting there, whatever. But still, like, you're on that same level of guru of how you can actually, he doesn't like that word, but you're on his level of really genuinely helping someone and helping them change. And this kind of thing, what you just showed is exactly what I'm talking about. Yay. I love you. You're the best. Thank you.
I love you too. And I got to give you credit too, because I can only do this when someone engages fully with the conversation and sticks it out and answers my questions and follows the logic. A lot of people throw up walls and get super defensive and they don't want to talk anymore. And, Jay's mean or whatever. But you stayed through the hard conversation. You handled the harsh truths.
Yeah.
And you owned the water slap.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I learned how to take personal responsibility because you taught me that, so.
Yeah. But ultimately, even though all of us are hypocrites at one point or another, one of the most unpleasant things in the world is someone being fake or being inauthentic, especially on a grand scale in their personal life or their career or their relationship. If they're presenting a false face to the world or selling a false story or snake oil, or they're not aligning their marketing very well to their core values, then like this infuriates everyone. This makes people livid. This is one of the worst things, right?
Yes, agreed.
At least if you surveyed people, you would probably get this answer.
Yes.
Betrayal, false faces, people who present themselves inauthentically, who lied to me, who scammed me, who scammed the world. This is why everyone was so mad about the Silicon Valley Bank thing. This is why everyone's so mad about
Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, I mean, that's old school. Milli Vanilli.
But it was the first thing that
even Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
There was the whole fraud thing.
Yeah.
Or the Me Too or Amber Heard or whatever.
Yes.
When you see that hypocritical about face or that facade falling down or that mask coming off, it's like gut wrenching.
Yes.
And so I get it. The only thing is I want to have more compassion for these people. I want to help these people live more authentically, not just hate on them for not living very authentically.
Yeah, fair play. Well, I would love to help her to be more authentic.
Me too, but she wouldn't have been receptive to help from who you were in the beginning of this conversation. She might be receptive now that you've admitted all these things and found the core of the issue, and we've sussed out what exactly is bothering you and what might help her. And so now at the end of this conversation, or as we're wrapping up, or second last question or whatever, I think she'd be much more receptive to you now. You seem less anxious. I thought anxiety would be funny.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Less anxious about Mel. You seem more friendly to Mel.
Yeah, because I think part of the reason too it annoys me is because I spent many, many years being inauthentic.
Mm-hmm.
I spent years pretending that I was one way, projecting to the world my anger at myself, and just I hated everything about myself. And so I was really angry and a hateful, mean person to everyone around me. And then after I met you, I learned about what being authentic really meant. And I lost a lot of friends, and I lost a lot of people in my life who couldn't handle me being authentic and being the real me, which is fine.
Well, she might lose her audience to do it too.
I was going to say, and this is probably, and since my audience was so small back then,
not as scary.
It wasn't a big deal. Like, who cares? But now when she's got like 10 million followers on Instagram, it's a lot scarier to her for her to be more authentic, and the possibility of losing those 10 million. It feels when you've comfortably, when you have a huge audience comfortably for the last few years, and you think, oh, I can do whatever I want. The idea of changing any of that is scary as hell.
Yeah. Well, Taylor Swift did it.
Yeah.
Beyonce did it.
Yeah.
Kanye did it. Jim Carrey did it.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's scary.
Yeah.
To be authentic and go a different direction or present a different way, but well,
if Mel ever sees this, really hope that you learn to be authentic, and if you want help, I'm happy to help you and tell you more about my own personal journey with being authentic and owning your shit on camera. Thank you. It's very helpful. I feel better. I'm not as angry. I'm not angry at all, actually. And I will confess to our wonderful audience that I had to stop twice because I was angry and I had to take a break and drink some water and take some breaths.
Oh, good personal responsibility.
Yes. I'm really
way to walk the walk.
Thank you. Anyway, so I really appreciate you.
I really appreciate you.
So I'm going to move on to the next question. So I had a different question for this last one, but because you've helped me feel better about the whole thing, I'm going to change my last question on the fly. So what advice would you give to Mel Robbins if she asked you for help with all this? Help me, Jay. How can you help me?
That's a great question.
Thanks.
For Mel, it would probably begin with a lot of soul searching. So the practical steps would be a vision quest or meditating or going to a retreat and journaling, asking herself some questions. If she sat down and asked herself, am I presenting my brand and my socials and all of my touch points to the world in an authentic way? Mm-hmm. Is my presentation aligned with my core values and who I am? Am I really the expert with all the answers who's cured all these different things? Or am I more of a journeyman, a journeywoman, a journey person who is learning what I learn and healing what I heal and falling down and getting back up and sharing my journey with people, right? This is a good question for her to ask. Who am I really? Who do I want to be? And if I do want to be that expert anxiety depression curer with a world-class record who everyone can come to and rely on, then does my track record and my history back that up? Am I the Jordan of curing depression and anxiety? Because if I'm presenting like the Jordan or LeBron of depression and anxiety cures, then I should probably back that up with stats.
Right.
And if I don't have the stats to back it up, maybe I should present a different way. So even those questions are a start. And then you can go deeper. If she already knows you're right, I'm more of a journey person and I'm not the LeBron of curing depression and anxiety, so I shouldn't talk like it. Now, how do you make a change with your team and your brand and your career and your socials and all your audience? How do you roll out that change? But you got to ask yourself this question. What is a smooth, fun, easy, elegant way to transition to a more authentic me, a more authentic marketing, a more authentic branding?
Okay.
Are there some fun, easy tweaks I could do? Are there some small experiments I could start with? You ask yourself these things and it starts to bring answers. There are some small experiments I could start with. There are some things I could do.
Well, one of the things...
Why am I scared?
Right. That's great. Those are all great. One of the things I noticed she's more and more as having more people, experts besides her. So she comes in, she has people come in and talk on her podcast or in her videos about the thing, like the anxiety or whatever. And so I don't know if each one of these people have done it themselves, but they're experts or whatever. So I think this may be kind of a start to
that. She could already be starting. She might already know all this stuff. Yeah. None of this might be new to her. I don't know. But either way, first you need a personal awareness of who you are and who you want to be and who you intend to be and who you present as. And even though you can't control what other people think, you absolutely can influence what other people think. That's how we build reputations.
Right.
If you want a reputation as a successful plumber, you have to start succeeding at plumbing and soon you will get that reputation. Right. And technically people could all say it's fake and you bought those plumbing jobs and testimonials and you never actually did it. And so people can still think what they want, but it's pretty tough. If you have a mountain of proof, you have influenced people to think you're a successful plumber.
Right.
So, take a look at how you're marketing and presenting your personal brand. And once you have an awareness of that, then you have to have a plan of execution. You have to have some steps that you're going to take to implement this change, because just being aware of something isn't change. Lots of people are aware of things. They're like, oh yeah, I'm a super messy person. Great.
Yeah, they label themselves as this thing.
Oh, I'm just a poor person.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you going to change that? Yeah. What actions are you going to take to be a prosperous person?
Right.
So if someone is living inauthentically or presenting their social inauthentically, then the question is, what actions am I going to do to live more authentically? Or are you just going to be like, well, I'm aware I'm unauthentic?
Fair play. Okay.
So to me, it would start with unplugging from devices, unplugging from social, unplugging from family, all these influences, friends, and yes men, and really get in touch with yourself. This is why ancient tribes and stuff had vision quests, and you would go out in the woods alone or on the sand dunes alone or whatever.
Mm-hmm. This is what I do. After you teach me stuff, I go alone and walk around the city so that I can take in and process and ask questions and talk to myself about all that stuff.
Yeah, there is a magic in isolation and aloneness. There is magic in solitude and silence.
Yes.
There is magic in these things. And in our cities and in our fast-paced lives, most people abandon this magic and then they wonder why they can't thrive or they struggle to make decisions or whatever. It's like, well, you have a super decision-making power inside you. If you would go and let it work and sit down and write out some journal questions and ask yourself some things and ponder it and so on and watch the answer come. The most people ever get is when they're in the shower and they have solitude and silence, like the white noise of the shower, and that's it. And that's where people get their great ideas, but try to convince them to go for a longer session and they're like, oh, hell no, man. I got to bring my phone. It's like, and now people are bringing their phone even into the shower. And it's like, well, I don't think you're unplugged ever.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, that would be where I start.
I like that. That's really good. Thank you. Really helpful. And if I was going to help Mel, the first thing that I would teach her would be personal responsibility.
Yeah, I think we have a podcast on that.
We do. We also discussed it when we talked about Andrew Tate, which, by the way, that was the last time I got this mad, was when we talked about Andrew Tate. So, all right. Well, I really appreciate you and your time, and thank you for your patience while I needed to take some breathing time to myself. I really appreciate it. You're an amazing person. Thank you for teaching me all the things that we talked about in this video that Mel's trying to teach other people. Thank you for teaching me how to do this so that I can genuinely and authentically help everyone else do the same thing, to heal their traumas, to be a happier person. My goal and my passion in this world is to help other people feel good about who they are and to help them understand that they can change anything they want. All they have to do is decide. So, but I wouldn't have known any of that if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think that was a great finale. I'm not doing my ending speech.
Yay. Okay. That's wonderful. And that's why our book and this podcast are called Eyes Wide Open. After today, you'll know how to spot an inauthentic guru. And now you can watch this video here called 5 Lies Your Therapist Has Telling You, to help you heal your anxiety and to help you keep your eyes wide open.
Keep rising.